This is exactly right.
We know so much more about our skin than we used to.
And we know how important it is to take care of it with CeraVe.
CeraVe facial cleansers don't strip the skin. They strengthen the skin barrier from day one. I've always used CeraVe.
They have little samples at my dermatologist as I'm leaving, and they don't do that with just anything.
CeraVe is the #1 dermatologist recommended cleanser brand and offers a range of facial cleansers for all skin types. Find yours.
Goodbye.
Hey, everybody. Here's the thing about other home security systems. They're all designed for after the window breaks, after someone's inside, after you get the notification, after the police come. SimpliSafe is the first system designed for before, stopping a break-in before it even begins.
That's right. Unlike traditional security systems that only alert you after a break-in is already underway, SimpliSafe is designed to help prevent the crime before it starts. Their cameras can detect suspicious activity at the perimeter and alert live U.S.-based agents. Then SimpliSafe's agents assess the threat, intervene, speak through the camera to scare off the intruders, and call for 911 dispatch.
That's right, and SimpliSafe has been protecting your world for 20 years, everybody. So celebrate their anniversary and save 60% on your new SimpliSafe system at simplisafe.com/stuff. That's 60% off, you guys, at simplisafe.com/stuff. Plus, when you order, write in our show name and the How Did You Hear About Us survey to let them know that we sent you. Don't forget, there's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Get into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event and get away with a deal so right, it almost feels wrong.
Right now, you can get great deals on Hyundai's most popular models,
including the adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe or Santa Fe Hybrid and the Tucson or Tucson Hybrid.
Plus, there's the bold and stylish Elantra loaded with the latest tech.
Or go all-electric with the Ioniq 5 or the Ioniq 9.
So get down to your local Hyundai dealer and get away with a deal you'll love during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Visit HyundaiUSA.com for details.
Goodbye. Capture your favorite summer feeling with Pandora Jewelry.
Discover a collection inspired by the sunshine, freedom, and moments that make the season unforgettable.
From sun-kissed metals to personalized pieces ready to be engraved with your summer mantra.
Each design moves with you from beach days to golden nights and every memory in between.
Shop Pandora Jewelry's new summer collection in-store or online at pandora.net and let your summer unfold. Goodbye. Hello.
We are very excited today because we just released our newest limited series from our partners over at Blanchard House, and it's called Hell in Heaven.
It's a true crime story about a rich American couple who escaped to the Costa Rican jungle to build their dream home, complete with armed guards and a bedroom lit by 400 Tiffany lamps.
But their dream turns into a nightmare as isolation and paranoia leads to a mysterious death.
And we're lucky to be talking to the award-winning investigative journalist who tracked this story down.
You know her from her 2024 podcast right here on Exactly Right, The Butterfly King. It is Becky Milligan.
Hello, Becky.
Hi. Hi, Georgia. Hi, Karen. Really nice to be here.
Great to see you again.
Yeah.
We haven't seen you since the Butterfly King premiere.
I know, a bit of time away, but, I've been working away, been off to Costa Rica and doing this story, which has been amazing.
How did you find this story originally?
Well, it was actually a while back and I was sort of reading through a few stories and then a friend actually said, "Did you hear about this story? I read it and I thought you might be interested." And then we found much more detail about it and then we found a book and we just thought, oh, this is just incredible. It just has everything. And we thought we'd pursue it then and just see what we could do with it.
Yeah.
It's so dramatic when you make the trek to the actual compound, essentially, in Costa Rica, and there are security guards and they're filming you. Was there ever a point where you were afraid for your lives?
Well, I'm always a bit of a scaredy cat,
Same. Yeah, same.
When I see guns, I just think, let's get out of here. But I was obviously with Poppy Damon, the producer, and our sound recordist, Dan, and they were really busy sort of chatting and just seeing what was going on. And I was the one who was suddenly saying, listen, guys, there's a guy with a gun It's actually pointed towards, we've got to get out of here. So, yeah, there were times when I get a bit frightened. I don't think it was actually threatening, but it is a bit scary when you see that.
Yeah, that's so intense. I love that you're saying you're a bit of a scaredy cat, except for that you're an investigative journalist. It's, what a contradiction.
Well, not really. I never want to go to really scary places, but I just sort of end up being there. But anyway, I try and avoid it. But this was an amazing jungle. I mean, you know, our couple wanted to escape all the sort of people and sounds of the city and set up a sort of utopia of paradise with wildlife. But I tell you what, being there in the jungle, it is so noisy. And you have you'll hear it in the show, these howler monkeys. I'm sure you know them, but they were new to me. And it's like through the jungle, howling like a dinosaur. It was just so incredible to be there and see their incredible house.
Yeah.
How much do you think that either the house, the compound, or the jungle itself, how much of a role do you think that played in the story? Do you think their story would have played out the way it did had they not, you know, had the circumstances that they did?
I think the house is really important because it's kind of central to the story. When we got there and we got through the jungle and, you know, eventually found this hilltop with what looked like a spaceship on top of it, you know, 4 stories, it just felt so symbolic of the story and the way they built it, the way that they wanted the animals to interact with the house and the jungle around it and bring it back to its natural state. It feels as though nature sort of played its part, as did the house. Almost how they were almost in conflict, but not. So I think the fact that the house was isolated on a hill, there were these wonderful couple in lots of ways who wanted to create something beautiful. I think the house really played a part in it. It was sort of just both beautiful, but also isolated and a bit of a threat.
Yeah. There's so many good interviews in this podcast. I really love that. There's people really bringing color to the story and real perspective, like people that were there trying to explain this kind of outrageous and outlandish true crime story. How do you find people like that? Is that just you tracking people down? Do you ever do it in the moment, like when you're on scene?
Oh my, all the time. You know what was really special about this is you can set up interviews and read loads and all of that and write something and do a few interviews online or whatever. But when you go somewhere and you're actually sitting down with people, they tell you about, hey, have you spoken to Joe down there or so-and-so over there? They have a story to tell. And we found that all the time. It just, whatever you fix up, serendipity steps in when you're on the ground. Yeah. You just, it's great because you feel like you're doing the proper job because you're actually just knocking on doors and saying, hey, what about this? What about that? And we did with the characters were just so much fun to meet. And obviously there were gaps that people had in the knowledge of the story. And so they filled it with gossip and with their own theories. And it kind of almost drifts on the air as you're going through the jungle. So yes, absolutely. And you just stop people in the street. They sort of know the story. So you quickly chat to them and see whether they know enough to be able to add to the story. It's amazing, really.
Yeah.
Wow. Ultimately, this is a true crime story. It's a mysterious death. What do you think it is about those stories, like The Butterfly King as well, that draws you, Becky, to those stories?
Well, for me personally, it's the idea there may be a little mystery. The idea that there are people who are involved in it who are able to tell you what really happened. And underneath it all, the real story, there's a human story. Mm-hmm. And there's this sort of bigger theme that when you think about John and Anne, it was their desire to find peace, to find a utopia. And they did this together to get away from people and searching for a place where they could exist with nature. And so I think it just makes you think about, we all want that. You know, we're all there with them. And it turned into a dreadful tragedy. But there's something that we can all connect with every single person we speak to, I hope.
Yeah.
But also just to what really brought it down to earth. I don't want to say exactly who we spoke to, but not to give too much away, but we did meet the parents of one of the couple. And what it did, it just brings you straight down to earth at that point. Because it is terrible, terrible grief. Yeah. And a grief that isn't over and it never will be. And I think that, you know, seeing that couple hold their hands, reach for each other's hands under the table to grip on for dear life when they're talking about the story, it makes you really realise that this is a very human story, and I hope told with sensitivity and respect for all their family and friends.
Well, I'm sure it is, because Becky, you're the best in the business. I mean, it's such an honor to be able to work with you and to be able to, show everybody your work, because you're incredible. And this podcast is so good. Everybody at the network that has to listen to it for whatever department, whatever reason, everyone is blown away. You did an amazing job. Can we just ask you one final question, which is, what's the scariest thing you saw in the jungle? Did you see a snake? Did you see a giant spider? Did you ever fall into quicksand? Anything?
Anything at all. I think the scariest thing was we did stop off at this waterfall, and we were sitting there, and I don't know why, but I always felt I was sort of mother of everyone there. And they were all climbing up, and Poppy was beginning to sort of strip off and whatever. It was very hot. And then I looked over and I saw this black shadow, and I started to go, oh my God, it's a lion. Not a lion. I didn't know what it was. But anyway, it was this animal. I was really scared. And I turned to Poppy. She'd seen it. And she said, don't worry, it's just like a cat. And it's like the cat that John had as a pet. It's fine. And then it disappeared, slithered away. So I didn't see a snake. There were really terrible things that could kill you with one bite. But I stayed on the paths. Religiously.
Yeah, sounds like the smart way to handle
the jungle. Yeah.
But thank you very much. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, and it was an absolute privilege to do.
Thank you so much, Becky. Thanks for talking to us today, and we're so excited to share the podcast with everyone.
Yeah,
thank you so much. It's great to see you guys again.
Great to see you.
All right, now it's time to listen to the first episode of Hell in Heaven. When you're done, episode 2 is waiting for you over at the Hell in Heaven feed.
And while you're there, please don't forget to like and subscribe and give it a 5-star review, because of course it really helps.
New episodes of Hell in Heaven drop every Thursday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now please enjoy episode 1 of Hell in Heaven.
Goodbye.
January the 7th, 2010. We're outside the house of John and Ann Bender, a young American couple who've built an extravagant home and wildlife refuge in the middle of the Costa Rican rainforest. John made a multi-million-dollar fortune on Wall Street. Ann is his bright and glamorous wife. It's now 1 a.m. The emergency call came in an hour ago.
Después de las 12 de la noche, yo estaba en mi casa durmiendo.
A shooting and a casualty.
Cuando llegamos arriba a la...
That's the voice of Carlos Mora. He was the ambulance driver who was on the scene that night. I've tracked him down.
Él, mi compañero.
Now, he's attended hundreds of violent incidents over the years. But this one stands out. He's never experienced anything like it before or since. And he's not alone. All the people I've found while reporting on this story remember it in vivid detail. I'm Becky Milligan. I broke stories for the BBC for almost 30 years, and I've reported on some pretty strange events. But this one is the strangest of all. So back to that night. Carlos enters the Benders' house, and he gets in the elevator.
Entonces sube los 4 pisos y...
And just like everything else in this house, this is no ordinary elevator. It's a round, open platform that rises up through the building. Carlos grips onto the handrail.
Esa casa por dentro era increíble.
He sees each floor as it passes.
El mobiliario, la forma de la casa.
The house is incredible, he says.
Una casa muy grande y muy iluminada, entonces es...
He's never seen a place like it. It's like an enormous spaceship. Inside, it's all stainless steel and shiny black floors, reflective like pools of water. There's a lot of money here. Who could own such a house, he asks himself.
Pablo Escobar y eso.
A drug trafficker?
La casa de un narcotraficante de esos famosos.
Carlos is anxious. Guards and security are everywhere, armed with heavy caliber weapons. They're speaking to each other in hushed voices. He's been told he has to go up to the 4th floor, the master bedroom. He passes the 1st floor, the 2nd floor, a vast kitchen, the 3rd floor, the 4th floor, the bedroom. And on the bed, a body, curled up as if asleep. But as Carlos gets closer, he takes in the horror of it all. The gunshot wound at the back of the head. The victim's left arm dangling off the bed. Blood dripping from it, forming a pool on the highly polished marble floor. And near it on the floor, the gun. A semi-automatic. At first, the police will assume this is a suicide. But not for long. And here's why. The gun seems to have dropped from the victim's left hand, yet the entry wound is on the right side of the head. Not only that, the bullet was fired from behind. From Exactly Right Media and iHeartPodcasts, produced by Blanchard House, this is Hell in Heaven. I'm Becky Milligan. Chapter 1. The House of Secrets. Our story begins and ends with a house, built and owned by Anne and John Bender. This place is their dream home. When they first move here, they're both in their 30s. He's made his millions and now he wants to put them to good use, to enjoy them, by creating a wildlife sanctuary. So our couple are young and they're in love, completely in love, devoted. It seems they live only for each other and all the beloved animals they've rescued. John also has his rare orchids, and Anne has her collection of Tiffany lamps, hundreds of them. So Anne and John have everything they need right here, in their house in the middle of the jungle, a house unlike any other, and which will, in time, be the scene of a terrible tragedy and a mystery. So I land in Costa Rica to investigate this story. And by coincidence, my 18-year-old daughter is already here, working on a conservation project elsewhere in the country. She's been messaging me, telling me all about protecting turtle eggs on pristine beaches, relaxing in camp as monkeys play in the trees, and about how she showers in the open air as hummingbirds hover close by. Paradise. But as I arrive in the country and discover more about this story, about the dark side of life in Costa Rica, the more I start to worry about my daughter and worry about myself turning into some sort of internet meme, a hysterical, overprotective mother convinced her daughter is about to die. Not only that, I'm not coping too well with the climate either.
Gosh, it's quite tiring, isn't it, in this heat? Whoa.
Scotland in autumn is more my thing, and that's a lot cooler than it is here. My producer Poppy and I have driven 4 hours from the capital, San Jose, a hair-raising drive around hairpin bends with sheer drops on either side. But we're now deep in the rainforest, searching for John and Anne Bender's house. First, through a slight clearing, we come upon the Diamante waterfall, which gives this valley its name.
Oh, wow. That's it. Can you see it?
Where? Oh, my goodness.
Is that it?
It's so high up.
It's in the cliff face.
Water tumbles from a high ridge down the cliff face and is swallowed up by the forest below. Blue, green and yellow birds flutter above our heads, and the noise is intense, and strange roars echo in the distance like dinosaurs. Sounds enchanting, but the truth is, we're already on edge. We've been spooked by a phone call we made just before we set out.
It's like warm in the daytime, kind of cool at night, crystal clear spring water blowing out of the mountains. Fruits and vegetables grow real easily, nice vegetables, tomatoes, bananas. We never thought we were coming back.
That's John Corvick, who knows the area and used to be the Benders' neighbour. And John had a warning.
There was my wife and I, and that was about it. So you're alone on this giant farm in the deep jungle most of the time. It's a strange thing. It sounds morbid, but a lot of people die off there, and a lot of people go kind of crazy. They lose it. They actually lose it. Struggling with anything in the jungle, you're going to face your inner demons.
John's words really unsettle us.
There's folklore about the Diamante waterfall. I'd be damned if all the people that move in and out of there don't go batshit. You know, the hippies have some theory, the vortex of energy that spins off the waterfall. The Indians say it's a curse because they were run off their land. Any way you cut it, the families go nuts, they fall apart, people die. I don't know anyone who's lived facing that waterfall that just set up shop and enjoyed this majestic view and just soaked it in. Long term. I really don't. Sometimes I think it's from isolation, cabin fever. They go nuts. You could have cabin fever. My wife asked me, she says, "Are you ever going to put clothes on again?" I would go 3 or 4 days in my rubber boots. I didn't see anyone.
It sounds like an exaggeration that people go mad and lose it. But by the end of our story, you won't think so.
Shit, that place is the darkest jungle you ever seen in your life. You have no clue.
We leave the waterfall behind and walk even deeper into the jungle in search of John and Ann Bender's house, which they called Borakayan.
Okay, I'm seeing some barbed wire fence, so I think we're getting close.
That even looks like cut lawn.
It does.
Right up the slope there.
We see the slopes of the gardens first, and then through the trees and foliage.
Oh my God!
That's really it.
It's just enormous. It's like a spaceship's landed on the top of a hill in the middle of the jungle in Costa Rica. It's like 4 stories with this dome at the top.
It's constructed from huge concrete slabs and columns and 50,000 square feet, around the same size as a soccer pitch. And it's round. Imagine that on a jungle hilltop, rising way above the tops of the trees, and you get an idea of what it looks like and how out of place it is. The views are incredible. In the evening, John and Ann would sit and look out across the jungle, enjoying the glorious sunsets, enjoying each other's company. In the daytime, they'd zoom around on their 5,000 acres of land on a quad bike, busying themselves with their wildlife refuge, caring for all the animals they'd saved. A great black hawk, a jaguarundi, which is a wild cat on the verge of extinction. And Anne also had her dog, a German shepherd called Millie. It really is an astonishing place. But being here now, there's a sinister edge to it all.
I can see why they loved it. It's completely isolated. But there are gates here, a couple of guards, and there's no entry. There's just no way we can get in, and even at the top I can see a guard sort of walking the perimeter.
I think he is filming.
In fact, he was filming us. They're getting a bit tense, all the guards.
Okay, good to know.
We'd asked permission to go inside weeks before and hadn't received a response. But just as we're leaving,
Muy bien.
a man turns up in fatigues.
Sí. Orlando or no? Oh, you're Orlando.
We're making a documentary about Anne and John, but it's not possible to go inside, is it? No.
He puts his hand up and shakes his head.
Well, thanks so much for your time. Have a good day. Bye. Hasta luego.
The house is up for sale, empty, and there's a sadness about it, almost like the structure holds memories of what took place here.
Mi nombre es Osvaldo. Yo ahorita vivo en Barrio Lourdes.
20 years ago, Osvaldo Rojas had been preparing to meet his new boss. He knew nothing about him, apart from his name, John Bender, and that he'd bought up some land in Diamante Valley. He ended up working for the Benders for 10 years.
Sí, soy de Pérez de León, nativo de Pérez de León.
Osvaldo was grateful for the job, and grateful too to his former boss, also an American.
Se llamaba Jimmy.
Jim had sold his farm to the new arrivals, John and Anne, but made sure his young maintenance man wouldn't lose his well-paid job, which were pretty hard to come by in Perez.
I understand
there was a clause in the contract where Jim, the previous owner, specified that I had to continue working on the property when the sale was made. I stayed to take care of the property until John Bender arrived.
Back then, everyone in town was gossiping about the new gringos moving to the valley. Gringos is what Costa Ricans call Americans. Most foreigners are gringos. The locals are called ticos. What was clear was that they were rich gringos. Nobody knew how rich, but then nobody really knew who this couple were at all, least of all Osvaldo. He remembers the day they arrived very clearly, because he was a bit nervous and wasn't sure what to expect. Before the house was built, the new couple was staying at a place in town.
John Bender, cuando ellos llegaron,
I remember being surprised when they show up in the little car. They were mostly reserved people, especially John. He didn't like to interact much with others. He would prefer the mountains, and he said something like, I hate this property, I've been deceived. He never realized that the house was so close to the center of town until they arrived. We didn't realize how young they were. We expected to see an older couple. He was a big man. She was thin and pretty.
Y la señora muy bonita.
Bonita. That was the word everyone used to describe Anne. And John at 6'5" was built like an American footballer. A guy who clearly worked out.
Hugely muscular, gorgeous, blue eyes, dark hair.
Carol Vaughan, an expat and author who moved to the town a few years later, was taken by how glamorous the couple were.
Just handsome, movie star handsome. She was petite, delicate, moved like a ballerina. She reminded me a lot of Audrey Hepburn.
Despite his physique, John was a gentle soul. He was kind to all animals, even the tiniest insect. Back home in the US, he'd taken in dozens of stray cats. And he was incredibly smart, good with numbers. Anne, meanwhile, had been the most popular kid at school. No doubt they were a striking couple. There's a photo of them taken on their new property. John is standing behind Anne in shorts and a t-shirt, one arm wrapped around her chest, the other around her waist, in a protective way. He towers above her, and Anne, in jeans, is holding onto his arms and leaning back slightly against him. Their dream is taking shape around them. They look happy and relaxed. The perfect couple. It's hard to look at that photo now, knowing everything that would happen.
We know so much more about our skin than we used to.
10 years ago, no one in America knew what a skin barrier was.
It's time to take care of your skin with CeraVe.
CeraVe facial cleansers don't strip the skin. They strengthen the skin barrier from day one.
Formulated with 3 essential ceramides, hyaluronic acid, and niacinamide to provide long-lasting hydration and 12-hour oil control. I've been using CeraVe for over a decade, I would think. And now it's getting super trendy. And I don't know why, it just makes me proud that something I've used for so long is like cool on socials now. But it really does work. And that's why it's been around so long.
No matter your skin type or concern, CeraVe has facial cleansers perfect for you and your skin barrier.
CeraVe is the #1 dermatologist recommended cleanser brand and offers a range of facial cleansers for all skin types. Find yours.
Goodbye. The Hulu original series Furious is now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. From Liz Merriweather, the Emmy-nominated executive producer of Dying for Sex and The Dropout, comes a gripping psychological thriller.
Starring Emmy Rossum, Furious follows Alice Black, a rookie FBI agent on the hunt for Catherine, a mysterious and calculating female serial killer.
It's Alice's first case on the job, and she's already bitten off more than she can chew.
While Alice believes justice is achieved through law enforcement, Catherine has lost all faith in the legal system.
She's taken it upon herself to terrorize the rich and powerful men of New York in her pursuit of vengeance.
As Alice and Catherine's twisted game of cat and mouse unfolds, the lines between good and evil and right and wrong begin to blur.
With shocking crimes, tangled relationships, and secrets that change everything, Alice discovers there's a thin line between hunter and prey.
Watch the Hulu original series, Furious.
Now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Goodbye. Grocery shopping seems like it should take 20 minutes.
And then 2 hours later, you're standing at the checkout with a frozen pizza and 6 different types of chips.
Lucky for you, there's Hungry Root.
Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped in one. They'll take care of the weekly grocery shopping and recommend groceries and meals tailored to you.
Once you tell them about your goals and preferences, they fill your cart with personalized recommendations. And those recommendations get smarter as Hungry Root learns more about what you did or didn't like.
Most of Hungry Root's recipes can be made in just 15 minutes or less. You can't get any easier than one-pan shakshuka. I've always said that.
Yeah, I love the convenience and also the fact that I don't have to go park anywhere.
Thank God Hungry Root's around to help us shop and help us build really healthy and delicious meals.
For a limited time, get 40% off your first order, plus get a free item in every box for life.
Go to hungryroot.com/MFM and use code MFM.
That's hungryroot.com/MFM, code MFM to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. Goodbye. There's nothing better than just laying around.
Whether you're fully horizontal or at a slant, it cannot be beaten.
Unless, of course, you have a Lola blanket.
Lola is the world's #1 blanket, crafted with ultra-soft luxury vegan faux fur and a signature 4-way stretch that sets it apart.
Their products are machine washable and double hemmed for durability, and they stay flawless. No pilling, no shedding, even after repeated washes.
And there's more. Lola also makes weighted blankets, matching pillow sets, and super soft pet beds.
Lola is a great go-to gift. It's personal, beautiful, and something your loved ones can actually use every day.
For a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola Blankets products with code MFM at checkout.
Just head to lolablankets.com and use code MFM to get 40% off your order.
After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you.
Wrap yourself in luxury with Lola Blankets.
Goodbye.
John and Anne arrived in Costa Rica with a reported $600 million, an eye-watering fortune, which would in time be bitterly fought over. But that comes later in our story. All anyone knew at this time was that they wanted land, and they had the money to pay for it. Author Carol Vaughan.
And when the word got out, people were desperate to make a killing off Americans, because it happens a lot. And the vendors found their mailbox just stuffed with people's deeds, saying, here it is, pay me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They were so desperate. They just wanted the money.
They wanted the money. Yep. And they didn't want to be the only one in the neighborhood who didn't make a fortune off the gringos. I mean, if Raul is making $100,000, I should make $100,000. I've got a deed here. Pay me.
In total, the Benders bought up 5,000 acres from expats like Jim, locals and small farmers, some of whom had grown coffee on their land for generations. It was in a perfect position. From the top of their hill, they had great views of the jungle, the Diamante waterfall, and the sea beyond. A romantic setting to watch the famous Costa Rican sunsets turn the sky to a burning red, orange, and yellow. This was where they would build their enormous house, which they would christen Boracayán. You're probably wondering what that means. We wondered too. Apparently, it's the name of a local plant. Construction work began. John Bender had a vision for his new property to create a new way of living, unconstrained by normal rules. Building a house on this scale in the middle of the jungle, well, it was a huge undertaking and massively ambitious. But then John was like that.
Hi there.
Hello.
I was wondering when we would hear from you. Come on in.
Thank you so much.
I met John's parents in Phoenix, Arizona. We'd already talked quite a bit online before I met them in person.
You know what's amazing is seeing you on Zoom and now being here.
John's mum is a teacher. John's dad is an eminent law professor and worked in the Clinton administration. This was the first time they'd invited journalists to their home to talk about their son. Their love for John is plain to see. They hold hands under the table as they talk about him. But they couldn't really relate to John's life making millions on Wall Street. Money isn't important to them, and they worried about the path he'd chosen. So when John decided to set up the wildlife sanctuary, I get the feeling they were relieved he was leaving the world of high finance behind. Though when John told his dad about the plans for their enormous house, Paul was pretty surprised.
Well, he was going to build this high-tech thing in the middle of the jungle, basically. And it seemed to me impossible to do that. And the way he did it was to decide where he wanted to put it and then have the people come there and build it. So he had like an army of people building this thing. What you've seen, what turned out, it has nothing to do with the jungle, but it was exactly what they wanted. I have a lot of pictures that we took down there.
Oh, have you?
Paul fired up his computer and scrolled through, showing us photos of the house being built. In the photos, the structure was up, but not much else. It was an empty concrete shell.
Okay, there is that.
Oh.
That's the house.
Oh, gosh. We haven't seen... Is that under construction?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Paul showed us more photos when the new floors had been put in.
That granite is like almost like a mirror, isn't it? It's so shiny.
He really liked that.
It's obvious that Margie and Paul are so proud of what John achieved. He had a dream, and he made it real.
I don't think John ever thought there were limitations to things. If he wanted it to be round, it could be round.
What they really wanted to do was what they did, was find a place that was away from most of the world, in a beautiful place which had a lot of animals and a lot of greenery. They really wanted to be away from the world.
They did.
The house took a total of 4 years to build. The Benders moved in before it was finished. Osvaldo, the head staffer, stayed at the couple's house in town and watched the jungle retreat take shape.
Nosotros estábamos ahí desde que empezaron.
We were there from the beginning. It was a huge building site. We could see the workers on the street, like 150 workers spread all over. We saw the house going up little by little.
One of his jobs was to clean the house, and so he can tell us precisely what it was like inside.
Cuarto piso, prácticamente.
The fourth floor was all the bedroom with the bed in the middle and some rustic furniture made to order. He didn't like anything lavish.
The third floor was empty. John had planned to put in a greenhouse for his orchids, but never got round to it.
On the second floor was the kitchen, which was enormous. 4 kitchens could fit inside it.
It was like no other house in the whole valley, standing on top of the hill, a 4-story round home. It came with huge pools of water, road gutters to prevent flooding, and there was one feature in particular that said this couple had serious money. Because when John and Anne came here, they didn't make that 4-hour car journey. They would fly in and out, landing on a helipad below the main entrance. Locals came to call the house the Dome because of the shape of the roof, which could be seen for miles around. And
you could not make this shit up.
There's one other detail about the house which people never fail to mention, including expat Carol Vaughan.
The house has no walls.
Yes, the house has no walls.
There's screens that are pulled down from the ceiling at night that keep bugs and animals out. But during the day, it was wide open. Designed by John with Anne's decorating touch. The house is magnificent.
It was open on all sides, and you felt that you were really in the jungle. The bathrooms had walls. I think that was a concession that he made to. The inside was just open space. What are you going to do with all this space? I never got the answer to that. I don't think he ever did anything with all that space.
Some describe it as looking like an anniversary clock, a shopping mall, or a car park. Not very flattering. But whether you like the design or not, it was an amazing feat. Hundreds of people were employed to build it and paid well. And it changed Osvaldo's hometown for good.
As we say, John came to put the town on the map. This was an abandoned place. In 2000, there was not even electricity. When John arrived, he brought life to the place. He brought jobs. And foreigners became interested in buying land. So the economy began to move after being practically abandoned, like many other places here in Costa Rica.
When the house was complete, John and Anne threw a party for all the workers and their families. But Osvaldo says it was the only party the Benders ever had. The house would never see so much life and light again as John and Anne retreated from the world, and their lives became shrouded in darkness.
We know so much more about our skin than we used to.
10 years ago, no one in America knew what a skin barrier was.
It's time to take care of your skin with CeraVe.
CeraVe facial cleansers don't strip the skin. They strengthen the skin barrier from day one.
Formulated with 3 essential ceramides, hyaluronic acid, and niacinamide to provide long-lasting hydration and 12-hour oil control. I've been using CeraVe for over a decade, I would think. And now it's getting super trendy. And I don't know why, it just makes me proud that something I've used for so long is cool on socials now. But it really does work. And that's why it's been around so long.
No matter your skin type or concern, CeraVe has facial cleansers perfect for you and your skin barrier.
CeraVe is the #1 dermatologist recommended cleanser brand and offers a range of facial cleansers for all skin types. Find yours.
Goodbye. The Hulu original series Furious is now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. From Liz Merriweather, the Emmy-nominated executive producer of Dying for Sex and The Dropout, comes a gripping psychological thriller.
Starring Emmy Rossum, Furious follows Alice Black, a rookie FBI agent on the hunt for Catherine, a mysterious and calculating female serial killer.
It's Alice's first case on the job, and she's already bitten off more than she can chew.
While Alice believes justice is achieved through law enforcement, Catherine has lost all faith in the legal system.
She's taken it upon herself to terrorize the rich and powerful men of New York in her pursuit of vengeance.
As Alice and Catherine's twisted game of cat and mouse unfolds, the lines between good and evil and right and wrong begin to blur.
With shocking crimes, tangled relationships, and secrets that change everything, Alice discovers there's a thin line between hunter and prey.
Watch the Hulu original series, Furious.
Now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Goodbye. There's nothing better than just laying around.
Whether you're fully horizontal or at a slant, it cannot be beaten.
Unless, of course, you have a Lola blanket.
Lola is the world's #1 blanket, crafted with ultra-soft luxury vegan faux fur and a signature 4-way stretch that sets it apart.
Their products are machine washable and double hemmed for durability, and they stay flawless. No pilling, no shedding, even after repeated washes.
And there's more. Lola also makes weighted blankets, matching pillow sets, and super soft pet beds.
Lola is a great go-to gift. It's personal, beautiful, and something your loved ones can actually use every day.
For a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola Blankets products with code MFM at checkout.
Just head to lolablankets.com and use code MFM to get 40% off your order.
After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you.
Wrap yourself in luxury with Lola Blankets.
Goodbye. The future has an annoying habit of always showing up.
That's why now is a great time to start planning ahead.
Enter Acorns.
Acorns is a smart way to give your money a chance to grow. You can sign up in minutes and start automatically investing, even if it's your spare change.
The Acorns potential screen shows you the power of compounding and how your money could grow over time. You can quickly adjust how much you're investing every day, week, or month to make sure you're always building towards your goals.
Whether you're just starting out or thinking about settling down, Acorns supports your big and small goals across every stage of life. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment.
Join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $27 billion with Acorns.
Head to acorns.com/MFM or download the Acorns app to get started.
Paid non-client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns.
Tier 2 compensation provided, potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, and investment settings.
Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk.
Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/MFM. Goodbye.
The house wasn't just a sanctuary for John and Anne, but for animals too, of course.
Decomisaba.
We had 2 large parrots and a parrot with a broken wing, some monkeys, the sloth, of course, and a baby tulumuku.
A black creature from the weasel family, which John loved and called Leo. He lived alongside 2 injured Persian cats, which John had adopted. There was the duck and the falcons and the snakes. That's only the beginning. And Anne had Peter the sloth.
Was it friendly?
Oh, yeah. But he slept all the time. I mean, it's a 3-toed sloth.
A sloth, after all. The name has come from this proclivity to sleep all the time.
Anne and John loved all animals ever since they were children. As adults, they both said they got on better with animals than with people.
John also had a good feeling about animals, just a magician with animals. So we always had a lot of animals, and I think both kids really enjoyed them.
It was a menagerie. One reason for the absence of walls was to be at one with the jungle. The animals could come and go as they pleased. Sometimes when Anne and John had a bath, parrots would perch beside them and keep them company. They wanted to turn back the clock, restoring the land to its wild state before it was farmed.
He was feeding it. He was bringing back the food that the land had had when it was natural and grew its own weeds, if you want to call them that, and other things. He was trying to get that back into the soil.
Then, after 3 or 4 years, we did start to see more animals around.
As the years went by, John and Anne would become increasingly isolated, holed up alone in their house with no walls. They had few visitors, but early on, before their home was completed, they made an exception for Zach Schwager and his dad, Jack, who John had invited to come and see the house. Jack and John were friends.
He said, hey, you should come down sometime. So when my son graduated high school and he wanted to take a father-son trip, I said, that sounded like a little bit of an adventure. I said, hey, you want to go to, Costa Rica, to John and Ann Bender's compound.
Zach Schwager was just 19.
My first time kind of like out of the country, people speaking different languages.
They were picked up by a Land Cruiser.
And we're driving for what I remember was hours. It's hard to describe this part of what it was like to get there because it was like truly out of a video game or a movie. You can't really see much because like you pull in, it's a dirt road, but it kind of leads up and up and up.
The roads, you could lose a Jeep in the potholes.
And then everything around you is rainforest, just like large, thick, lush trees. I had no idea like this is what it was. My dad had undersold this by 1,000,000%. Like we were in a movie set.
Then he met their host, who'd taken up the traditional way to cut through the jungle.
There's just like this big brute of a guy, kind of like had a good healthy beard and a machete on his waist.
Straight off, he loved John, who took them on a tour of his property.
And like almost had like a skip, but a stomp to his step. You know what I mean? Like he walks like that jungle very confidently.
He was proud of what he was doing, He loved the rainforest, so I think a good deal of self-satisfaction that he was protecting this land.
And John and Anne seemed uniquely matched.
A couple that doesn't need to ask twice for things. A couple like where if John sits down, like she knows he's thirsty type of thing. But like she willingly wants to make sure Jonathan is not a thirsty person. There was a lot of just like warmth and care that came from Anne. So we're special. And I'm like, man, this person is just such a sweetheart.
He and Anne were very much in love as far as I could tell.
Zach remembers the trip vividly, and one conversation in particular illustrated John's fierce intellect. One evening,
it's just three dudes kind of like hanging out, shooting the shit. And this is like maybe like where I felt a little out of my element. Both Jonathan, super intelligent, and my father, super intelligent.
And then John turned to Zach and said,
I don't mean to ask like such a random question, but are you familiar with quantum superposition?
Yes, quantum superposition.
So John like took my dad deeply through quantum superposition, basically this idea that like, based on waveforms that electrons can exist in two places at once. He was walking through several experiments, like one where like electrons were shot at like a gold leaf, but that like kind of changed my life in the sense that I was opened up to this whole world of like reality or not reality. And like Jonathan had kind of brought me into this place of where for the first time, like I questioned like what's real and what's not real. And nobody had ever done that.
For Zach, still in his teens, who'd never been to a foreign country, meeting John on his jungle reserve made a lifelong impression on him.
It was like this very weird time where everything was perfect. Like the wind was perfect. The temperature was perfect. Like the seats weren't uncomfortable. The beer was still cold. And the sky was just this like perfect orange. And everything was super green. John was like somehow on center stage without like detracting from like this perfection. It was like just one of those moments where like the second that it was happening, you're like, please God, like do not let this end. Like don't, whatever you do, just like do not have this moment stop.
But everything would change, and the Benders would find themselves becoming further and further divorced from reality. Even then, the signs were there. This might have been a piece of paradise, but in this paradise, Zach noticed one thing that seemed strange, a puncture on the otherwise perfect scene.
And all of a sudden there's guys with guns. And definitely something my father never said to me is like, there's gonna be men with guns, like, and lots of men with guns. They weren't friendly, they didn't say hi, they weren't like, hey, like, I know I'm a random dude with a gun that doesn't speak the same language as you, don't be frightened. They were kind of there.
There's guys with assault rifles, at the gate. And like you would imagine, if it was a drug cartel, right? The armed people he had working for them would do these patrols, like round the clock and stuff.
Why did they have guns?
Yeah, that was my very first question. And it was quickly answered with, we're concerned about poachers.
Poaching might explain all those guns, up to a point. Remember John Corvick from earlier, who used to live in the valley? He told us about the poachers and their dogs, who would come at night and cause havoc.
Oh, there's poachers everywhere. I used to hunt the poachers. Those poachers are sons of bitches. You can never find them, but you'll find their dogs. And I used to go out with my bulldogs at first. We try to find them. The poachers would drive me nuts. My dogs would start barking. I could hear them barking up in the hills.
If this was just about poaching, John and Anne went to extreme lengths. They put up a barbed wire perimeter fence around their property and had guards wearing fatigues patrolling 24/7. Signs reading, "Keep out private property," were erected everywhere. To the people in the valley, Costa Ricans, expats, hippies in search of a piece of heaven, the message was clear. And the couple were rarely seen. Occasionally, people would look up and see their helicopter leaving and returning to the hilltop reserve. So rumours and conspiracies germinated and began to grow, carried swiftly along the grapevine. Whispers about those wealthy Americans who flew in by helicopter and bought up all the land. And were all those guards really there to scare off poachers? Jesse, their neighbour, asked all those questions.
We don't know. We could imagine, but we don't know.
What do you imagine?
Well, I personally thought he was probably somebody very big in the drugs, personally. Obviously they were doing something secret.
Boracay was the perfect place to live in splendid isolation. And that, in the end, was at the root of everything that was to follow. And Jesse is right. The house with no walls was full of secrets. Where did they get their fortune? Why were they so hell-bent on protecting their privacy? Why all those guns? And why would one of them end up dead? You've been listening to Hell in Heaven from Exactly Right Media and iHeartPodcasts, produced by Blanchard House. Hosted, written and produced by me, Becky Milligan. The producer and co-writer is Poppy Damon. Music is by Daniel Lloyd Evans, Louis Nank-Manel and Toby Matamon. The sound recordist and head of sound and music is Daniel Lloyd Evans. The lead sound designer is Volkan Kizeltug. The artwork is by Vanessa Lilac. For Exactly Right Media, the executive producers are Karen Kilgariff, Georgia Hardstark and Danielle Kramer, with consulting producer Lily Ladewig and associate producer Jay Elias. The creative director of Blanchard House is Rosie Pye. The executive producer and head of content at Blanchard House is Lawrence Griselle. Listen to Hell in Heaven on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everybody, here's the thing about other home security systems. They're all designed for after the window breaks, after someone's inside, after you get the notification, after the police come. SimpliSafe is the first system designed for before, stopping a break-in before it even begins.
That's right. Unlike traditional security systems that only alert you after a break-in is already underway, SimpliSafe is designed to help prevent the crime before it starts. Their cameras can detect suspicious activity at the perimeter and alert live U.S.-based agents. Then SimpliSafe's agents assess the threat, intervene, speak through the camera to scare off the intruders, and call for 911 dispatch.
That's right, and SimpliSafe has been protecting your world for 20 years, everybody. So celebrate their anniversary and save 60% on your new SimpliSafe system at simplisafe.com/stuff. That's 60% off, you guys, at simplisafe.com/stuff. Plus, when you order, write in our show name and the How Did You Hear About Us survey to let them know that we sent you. Don't forget, there's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Calling all amateur detectives and podcast obsessives.
Virgin Voyage's second true crime voyage sets sail March 20th, 2027 for a 5-night escape to Grand Turk and the Beach Club at Bimini.
As part of the On Air at Sea collection, this immersive sailing brings together fan favorite podcasts, including Disgraceland, Buried Bones, and Wisecrack, for live recordings, behind-the-scenes access, exclusive meet and greets, and crime-themed programming that you won't find anywhere else.
All aboard our award-winning, kid-free ships.
Head over to virginvoyages.com/truecrime to secure your spot.
Goodbye.
I'm Nancy Glass, host of the Burden of Guilt Season 3 podcast. This is a story about a horrendous situation that destroyed 2 families. It's a scorched earth war that shows just how far someone will go to get what they want.
Cindy said I had to choose between the truth and my family, and I had to choose the truth.
Listen to Season 3 of Burden of Guilt on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.